Words to remember. Chapter 6. General Anatomy and Physiology Part 4. Flashcards. Review over and over for best results. Systemic circulation. Also known as general circulation, system that carries the oxygen-rich blood from the heart throughout the body and returns deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Blood vessels. Tube-like structures that include arteries, arterioles, capillaries, venules, and veins. Arteries. Thick-walled, muscular, flexible tubes that carry oxygenated blood away from the heart to the arterioles. Aorta. The largest artery in the body. Arterioles. Small arteries that deliver blood to capillaries. Capillaries. Tiny, thin-walled blood vessels that connect the smaller arteries to the venules. Capillaries bring nutrients to the cells and carry away waste materials. Venules. Small vessels that connect the capillaries to the veins. They collect blood from the capillaries and drain it into veins. Veins. Thin-walled blood vessels that are less elastic than arteries. Veins contain cup-like valves that keep blood flowing in one direction to the heart and prevent blood from flowing backward. Blood. Nutritive fluid circulating through the circulatory system, heart and blood vessels, to supply oxygen and nutrients to cells and tissues and to remove carbon dioxide and waste from them. Common carotid arteries. Main arteries that supply blood to the head, face, and neck. External carotid artery. Artery that supplies blood to the anterior, front, parts of the scalp, ear, face, neck, and sides of the head. Internal carotid artery. Artery that supplies blood to the brain, eyes, eyelids, forehead, nose, and internal ear. Supraorbital artery. Branch of the internal carotid artery that supplies blood to the upper eyelid and forehead. Infraorbital artery. Branch of the internal carotid artery that supplies blood to the muscles of the eye. Facial artery. Also known as external maxillary artery, branch of the external carotid artery that supplies blood to the lower region of the face, mouth, and nose. Submental artery. Branch of the facial artery that supplies blood to the chin and lower lip. Inferior labial artery. Branch of the facial artery that supplies blood to the lower lip. Angular artery. Branch of the facial artery that supplies blood to the side of the nose. Superior labial artery. Branch of the facial artery that supplies blood to the upper lip and region of the nose. Superficial temporal artery. A continuation of the external carotid nerve artery, supplies blood to the muscles of the front, side, and top of the head. Frontal artery. Branch of the superficial temporal artery that supplies blood to the forehead and upper eyelids. Parietal artery. Branch of the superficial temporal artery that supplies blood to the side and crown of the head. Transverse facial artery. Branch of the superficial temporal artery that supplies blood to the skin and masseter muscle. Middle temporal artery. Branch of the superficial temporal artery that supplies blood to the temples. Anterior auricular artery. Branch of the superficial temporal artery that supplies blood to the front part of the ear. Occipital artery. Branch of the external carotid artery that supplies blood to the skin and muscles of the scalp and back of the head up to the crown. Posterior auricular artery. Branch of the external carotid artery that supplies blood to the scalp, the area behind and above the ear, and the skin behind the ear. Internal jugular vein. Vein located at the side of the neck to collect blood from the brain and parts of the face and neck. Anterior tibial artery. One of the popliteal arteries, the other is the posterior tibial artery, that supplies blood to the lower leg muscles and to the muscles and skin on the top of the foot and adjacent sides of the first and second toes. This artery continues to the foot where it becomes the dorsalis pedis artery. External jugular vein. Vein located at the side of the neck that carries blood returning to the heart from the head, face, and neck. Ulnar artery. Artery, along with numerous branches, that supplies blood to the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. Ulnar artery. Artery, along with numerous branches, that supplies blood to the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. Radial artery. Artery, along with numerous branches, that supplies blood to the thumb side of the arm and the back of the hand, supplies blood to the muscles of the skin, hands, fingers, wrist, elbow, and forearm. Popliteal artery. Artery that supplies blood to the foot, divides into two separate arteries known as the anterior tibial artery and the posterior tibial artery. Dorsalis pedis artery. Artery that supplies blood to the foot. Posterior tibial artery. One of the popliteal arteries, the other is the anterior tibial artery, that supplies blood to the ankle and the back of the lower leg. Lymph. Clear fluid that circulates in the lymph spaces, lymphatics, of the body. Lymph helps carry wastes and impurities away from the cells before it is routed back to the circulatory system. Lymphatic immune system. The body system that consists of lymph nodes, the thymus gland, the spleen, and lymph vessels. It carries waste and impurities away from the cells and protects the body from disease by developing immunities and destroying disease-causing microorganisms. Lymph capillaries. Blind end tubes that are the origin of lymphatic vessels. Lymph nodes. Gland-like structures found inside lymphatic vessels, filter the lymphatic vessels and help fight infection. Integumentary system. The body system that consists of skin and its accessory organs, such as the oil and sweat glands, sensory receptors, hair, and nails. It serves as a protective covering and helps regulate the body's temperature. Endocrine system. The body system consisting of a group of specialized glands that affect the growth, development, sexual functions, and health of the entire body. Glands. Organs that remove and release certain elements from the blood to convert them into new compounds. Endocrine glands. Also known as ductless glands, glands such as the thyroid and pituitary gland that release hormonal secretions directly into the bloodstream. Exocrine glands. Also known as duct glands, they produce a substance that travels through small, tube-like ducts. Sweat glands and oil glands of the skin belong to this group. Hormones. Secretions, such as insulin, adrenaline, and estrogen, that stimulate functional activity or other secretions in the body. Hormones influence the welfare of the entire body. Pineal gland. Endocrine system gland that plays a major role in sexual development, sleep, and metabolism. Pituitary gland. The most complex organ of the endocrine system. This gland affects almost every physiologic process of the body. Growth, blood pressure, contractions during childbirth, breast milk production, sexual organ functions in both women and men, thyroid gland function, and the conversion of food into energy, metabolism. Thyroid gland. Gland of the endocrine system that controls how quickly the body burns energy, metabolism, makes proteins, and how sensitive the body should be to other hormones. Thank you. Next chapter. 7. Skin structure, growth, and nutrition.